What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel. I am your host, Trinity. Thank you all so much for being here during the morning movie chat. Man, can you believe, guys? It's already Monday, January 6th, 2020. We're 6 days into the new year, almost a full week, and I gotta say it's been a pretty good year so far, and been really busy this year. In case you guys didn't know, I recently hit 1,000 subscribers, and I want to say thank you to everybody who actually comes here to my live streams and watches them, and thank you to all of the new subscribers. And if you are somebody new here, please make sure you have your notifications turned on because I do these morning movie chats pretty much every morning, Monday through Friday. On occasion, I do kind of switch it up a little bit and go and talk about sometimes I do comic books on the morning movie chat on Wednesdays, or maybe switch it up just a little bit, talking about different things. But yes, thank you all so much for being here once again. Now, I do want to say once again, thank you to all of the new subscribers that we do have here. Like I said, I do normally talk about movies here, and movies is something that I enjoy, and pretty much I'm sure a lot of us do enjoy going to the theaters and watching these films. So again, thank you all so much for being here. I do greatly appreciate that anytime that you guys show up here to watch me flap my gums just about whatever I talk about, because it seems like sometimes I kind of feel like, do I know what I'm talking about? Nah, I don't know. Anyway, we got a couple things that we want to talk about today. It looks like we've got some new trailers out there. Well, I guess maybe the one new trailer that everybody seems to be talking about today, and that is going to be the new Mutants movie. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and talk about that, but let's not also forget that there are new movies that are going to be premiering at the theater this weekend as well. It looks like we've got 1917 is getting ready to hit the theaters. It's a World War One docudrama about a couple of soldiers who are going basically into enemy territory to deliver a message that's going to prevent a lot of people from walking into a death trap, pretty much. Directed by Sam Mendes, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty good movie. But is this a movie that interests you? Is this something that you're going to go out to the theater and see? Also, it looks like we've got Just a Boss getting ready to premiere at the theater this Friday as well, starring Tiffany Haddish, Rose Byrne, and Salma Hayek, about a couple of friends who get together and want to start a beauty company. One of them wants to live it up, while the other one seems a little bit more conservative with their funds. But I don't know. It looks like a typical one of these kind of movies with Tiffany Haddish at the starring in this. She's kind of a little bit over the top in some of her comedy and stuff, but hey, I get it. It looks like it might be a funny movie. Comedies are really. Are a really tricky thing, and this movie is being directed by Miguel Arteta. I can't really say that I know a whole lot of his work or anything, but it looks like it might be a very I don't know. Like I said, an interesting movie if you're into these kind of comedies. And I never underestimate comedies, guys, because one thing I've long argued here on the show is that what, a lot of actors who come from comedic backgrounds really make for great dramatic actors as well. And then, of course, this weekend we also have Just Mercy opening up at the theater, directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, and starring Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Foxx, and Brie Larson. This looks like it's about a lawyer who is going to be defending somebody that's wrongly accused. These type of movies always seem, like these like kind of court dramas. They always seem to kind of interest me, you know what I mean, when we get into things like that. Definitely looks very good. And there's another movie that I wanted to talk about really quick. It's a direct-to-DVD movie getting ready to come out tomorrow called Bulletproof 2. Now, this movie is like, I think the first one came out like probably over 20 years ago. It had, God, was it Damon Wayans that was in that? I want to say it was, no. Yeah, I think it was Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler, and this one actually stars Faison Love, Kirk Fox, and Tony Todd. Now, I find this very funny that Faison Love is actually in this movie, because I remember a while back. I'm not sure if you guys ever seen a show called Dinner for Five. It was a show that was, I want to say it was. It may have been directed by Jon Favreau, but basically what they would do is they would get a few people together, and they would sit down and just kind of have dinner and talk about different things about their movie journeys and stuff like that. It was a really good show, and it's a shame a show like that isn't still around because it was a good one. But I remember during one of these shows, Faison Love was on there, and he was talking about movies that he had kind of got talked into that he kind of regretted doing, and one of those movies was Biker Boys, and he remembers. I remember him talking about being on the set of Biker Boys. When he got involved in the movie, he's like, man, he's like, I went into this movie thinking it was a really serious thing. I really wanted to do this movie when I heard about it, and I thought it was something serious. He's like, and then we got on set, and just the way everything went down. He's like, man, like he was he was really disappointed in the way, like I guess maybe the cheese level of the movie and things like that, and he didn't like, he wasn't particular about the direction that it went to, and then you see a movie like this and it's like, well, I don't know. Isn't this this to me seems like it would be one of those kind of movies too that if you felt that way and then you go and take a role on like this, like I don't know. But then again, like he's not one of those big blockbuster movie stars that gets in some of the greatest movies out there in the world. But we got to say that he was in Friday, and that was a great movie, small movie done at the time when that came out. And God, what was that, 1994 when that came out? But I thought that was a really good movie. But Bulletproof 2, I don't know. I thought it seemed a little silly, but what of these movies that I just mentioned would you like to go out and see this weekend? And we will get into more New Mutants in just a minute. First of all, I want to once again thank everybody for being here. Aggressively Relaxing says, yay, congratulations on 1,000. Thank you very much. And James Clark Artist as well is here. Thank you so much for being here. Couple of great supporters here of the channel, and yeah, guys, I recently hit 1,000 subscribers just last night, as a matter of fact, and it seems like here overnight did gain quite a few new subscribers as well. Now, a lot of that is due to I have a lot of people to thank for that. I've been slowly growing this community, but there have been a lot of people out there that have that have helped me grow this channel, and most of all, a lot of those people are people like you who tune in and watch me flap my gums about movies, comics, and on occasion even music. And if there's ever anything that you guys would like me to talk about, feel free to message me on Facebook, Instagram, or even Twitter at Second Street Marvel, or you can even send me suggestions and topics to my email, which is all on the About section here on the channel, and you could probably find most of those contacts down in the description here on this video and every video that I do. There is also some links down there where you can go and send direct donations to the channel. You can even send through, you can even become a monthly Patreon supporter. And I want to say that all my live shows are brought to you by all of my Patreon supporters, who are all very great people, and I do greatly appreciate all of them for the money that they donate to the channel. And there's a list of those people right down here that you can thank for that. They are very awesome supporters. I do greatly appreciate all these people, and I actually have a couple of new ones that aren't on there, and those include Captain Pennsylvania and my good friend Ryan from Nerdy Blurb TV that I haven't yet got on the list. Guys, I do greatly apologize for that. I will get those added on here as soon as possible. But yeah, so like I said, there are some new movies going to premiere this weekend, and what of these movies are you going to go see? Okay, now that that's all down and out of the way, again, thank you all so much for being here. Like I said, this New Mutants trailer did just drop today, and I can already see that it seems like everybody out there is already jumping on getting their trailer reactions out there, which is something that we do as YouTubers. You want to kind of, as soon as something's out, you got to take advantage of getting those views and things out there, the popular stuff, as soon as possible. And hey, man, that's just the YouTube game. That's kind of what we do as content creators, and I get it. So get ready to see on your timelines, if you have your certain channels you subscribe to, you're going to be seeing a lot of these trailer reactions today. And me here on the channel, I'm not really much of a reactionary guy, so I don't really do those. But yeah, matter of fact, I noticed, I was realizing, I talk a lot about movies, but very rarely do I actually do movie reviews. And you know what? That's something that I definitely need to change. It may be something I definitely need to make a goal of. But sometimes I feel like, I talk a lot about movies here on the channel anyway, here during the morning movie chat. So, should I be doing it? And I come to the conclusion that, yeah, I absolutely should be. But again, thank you all so much for being here. Aggressively Relaxing says, I'm all about Tiffany Haddish. So the Boss movie, for sure. Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, and for me, when it comes to some of these kinds of movies, like a lot of times, I've got my kids, so I end up trying to go maybe see it on Tuesdays on a discount Tuesday where I can take the kids with me and watch a movie just a little bit cheaper, and gotta kind of got to kind of save money where you can, especially when you're a father of three. And I own my own business, so I don't have a guaranteed paycheck or anything like that. So I'm always out there trying to grind and make that extra dollar. So thank you all so much again for being here. Captain Pennsylvania says, "Yo, what's up, Captain Pennsylvania?" Like I said, guys, he is one of my newest Patreon supporters. Thank you so much, Captain Pennsylvania, for your generous contributions. Now, let's go ahead and get right into New Mutants. Have you guys seen this trailer? Did you watch the trailer yet? If you did watch the trailer, let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Now, this movie has been, how would you say, in production for quite a while and still hasn't yet hit theaters. And like there's a lot of things that have been surrounding this movie, and I've got to say, like, it's about time for this movie to hit the theater. But is this movie really worth it? I mean, is this good timing for this movie to come out? As I think a lot of people have largely thought that general audiences might start to get some confusion between this movie and with the MCU and things like that. Now that Disney does own it, is there going to be some crossover here? Which I don't think there's going to be crossover, but will people start to get confused about these characters when we don't end up getting these exact same characters in the MCU? Young Ripper 59, thank you so much for being here. He says you better not be monetizing this content. I know, right? And speaking of which, I did recently hit 1,000 subscribers, so soon enough, maybe I'll be adding some ads to things like that. But for the most part, I myself, I don't really like watching ads, so I may put some ads like on some of the videos that I think might be bigger hits or something like that. But most of all, some of the things I was looking forward to is getting that community tab on here so I can share some of those things. And then they got those little things now they call stories, where you can sit there and do little things. It's almost like a Snapchat kind of thing that you can do here on YouTube. So definitely looking forward to do some of that as soon as I get those options available here on my channel. I look forward to doing some of that. But yeah, and thank you, Young Ripper 59, for being here. And yeah, I seen that post in that video that you did today of people being mad about having memberships and things like that. Because I think once you hit, I think it's 10K subscribers, maybe more, it might be 100K subscribers, where you get to have memberships where you can drop exclusive content, give certain perks to viewers and things like that. And that's a good thing. As YouTube content creators, most of us should, I feel a lot of us should be getting paid for the work that we're putting into our channels. And certainly some people put in a lot more work than others do. And I think one of the things with that, when it comes to those memberships and having those monetizing content and having things exclusively for members, especially when it comes to live streams, is the way YouTube works, it's really tricky with a lot of things because, when it comes to like the YouTube algorithm, the way it pushes out, audience retention and things like that, live streams, for the most part, it actually can hurt channels as far as, those kinds of things, your audience retention, getting things pushed out into the YouTube algorithm, things like that. It's not all about just, hey, I'm a big YouTuber, I'm really popular, and everybody gets notifications for all my videos and things like that. It's a very tricky game, and I know that there's certainly a lot of channels out there that may not even monetize in that way and have their memberships available, that when they do live streams, they actually take them and unlist them after they're done with their initial video, because it does hurt things like that when it comes to just trying to get things pushed out into the YouTube algorithm. So yeah, so I saw that video, and that was pretty funny, especially that post that people make. I don't know, I guess I get it. Like some people like, oh, I'm trying to make money and everything like that. Like, how dare you? But at the same time, it's like, that's kind of what all of us make content for, is maybe to get noticed and hopefully make a few dollars while we're at it, because a lot of people do put in a lot of hard work into their channels. So yeah, it's just weird when people get upset about those kinds of things. And hey, I get it. Some people, stick to their guns and don't want to monetize their content or accept super chats and things like that. Another one of my favorite YouTubers here doesn't, he don't like to do super chats and things like that in his videos. And hey, I get it. If that's what you want to do, it's all good. And certainly some people don't want to do that from a business standpoint because it's another income stream that they may have to claim for taxes and things like that if they're making so much money. And I know for a lot of people that can be tricky waters to navigate. So some people don't do it for those reasons as well. But hey, man, if you're making content regularly and you are working this as a business, you certainly need to go out there and monetize your content, and certainly, and a lot of times, monetize your haters. Definitely something, something that needs to be done at times. Captain Pennsylvania says, "Just saw the New Mutants trailer, thought it sucked. I watched it again, and it'll be good, maybe." Yeah, definitely. Eric Rigsby, thank you so much for being here. Says congratulations on 1,000 subscribers. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, we made the push last night. As a matter of fact, we just barely got over that hump, and I noticed here overnight it's kind of grown a little bit more. As we've gone on, he says, "Make that money. I won't hate you if you decide to monetize." Yeah, I think for the most part, for me, it's more about getting maybe enabling super chats and videos and some of those other things I just talked about. Like I said, from me myself, I don't have enough traffic to really make a lot of money on ads. If I have a video that I think is going to hit, I'll probably put some ads in there, but other than that, I just mostly like to be here and interact with you all. That's really the funnest part about doing YouTube, is that people actually come here and watch me flap my gums about the things that I love. So yeah, and now Captain Pennsylvania was there talking about this New Mutants trailer. I gotta say one thing is this trailer. I thought the trailer looked pretty good, but and they went more with that horror style that this movie was supposedly originally being directed as. And then I know in the past here they kind of changed up with some of the trailers that had come out. The direction of it. And I don't know. For me, I've got mixed feelings about this movie. While the movie looks kind of good, it also makes me think: did they really need to go through with a theatrical release on this? Obviously, they want to go and make some of their money back that they put into production on this. But is this movie really relevant as far as the mutants, the with the X-Men and everything in there like that? I don't know. And I don't know, but the one thing I will say is at least they did go back to what their original plan was with making it more of like a horror style movie. Because I think that may help. For one, it may help the MCU as they begin to dip their toes into that kind of scary movie content with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which is something that has been largely talked about being like. A lot of people came out here talking about this movie, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, going to be like a horror movie. But really, the words that were used for it was scary movie, not horror movie, because I think there's a big difference when it comes to that. But just what the MCU has been trying to do. I think it would be interesting to see them go that route. I just don't know how much they're going to do that. But it also makes me want to ask, how about this WandaVision TV series? It recently was announced that it's going to be bumped up by a few months going into I believe is it going into late into 2021 instead of 2022. I may have got that wrong. I haven't really put in a whole lot of research to that because it's still a little ways off. But I think this movie, New Mutants, the direction they're taking with it, may kind of help break the ice, I guess, with some of the audience out there and getting them into maybe some more of that horror type of content. But I thought the trailer looked pretty good. But again, like with the New Mutants, I'm kind of interested in how this movie's going to go, considering we're not going to get Professor Xavier in there, who is kind of the leader of the mutants and built the X-Men and things like that. So it's definitely going to be something very interesting as we explore this world where it looks like these kids are dealing with the Doctor and in somewhat of asylum or anything. It makes me kind of wonder: is Moira McTaggart going to be in this movie? I honestly don't know, but it certainly looks interesting. I look forward to seeing it at the movie theater. I actually love a lot of the superhero genre, movies, comic book movies and things like that. It's a genre I've really kind of grown up on. When I was growing up, and see, here's the thing I've talked about several times here on the channel as well, is right now the MCU is so dominant out there with these superhero centric movies and things like that. But and everybody's talking about how good of movies they do, or there are people out there who don't like them. Warner Brothers has kind of been off and on with their DC movies, but I can't say that it was necessarily always Warner Brothers, but certainly DC used to be the company, the publisher who had more content historically. I mean, when I was growing up, we had all the Christopher Reeve Superman. There was the Michael Keaton Batmans that went on from the late '80s all the way through the '90s, and it seems like they're really the ones that have been more largely successful, and they've just kind of they just barely, they've been treading the waters here over these past 10 years, maybe 20 years or so, with things like Superman Returns, and then we get into like the Christopher Nolan Batmans, which were really really great movies, but honestly I'm not really a huge fan of them. And I mean, I own them all, but to me, like, they're great movies, and I know a lot of people have their favorite movies when it comes to that, and I've got an unpopular opinion when it comes to these Christopher Nolan Batman films. Is my favorite one is actually Batman Begins. I thought that was the best of that trilogy. And of course, there's always reasons why number ones are always so good, but I really did like Batman Begins a little bit more than I liked The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Returns. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think about the Batman trilogy down in the comments below. And then obviously, Warner Brothers has been kind of hit a rough patch ever since they tried to start their DCEU with Superman, Man of Steel, which I actually thought Man of Steel was a great movie. I really like Henry Cavill as Superman, and still, we've never got any actual news, but I would love to see Henry Cavill come back and continue to play this character. I thought he just did a great job. Now, Batman versus Superman, there's certainly mixed reactions on that movie, but and I'm another one of those guys. I really liked Ben Affleck as Batman. I like Batfleck, and I wish we would have got more of it. To me, he seemed a little more comic, a little more comic accurate, a little more. To the movies. Not saying that the Christopher Nolan Batmans were, but they seemed a little more like seriously done, like just like kind of drama movies, like those things were done, like those drama thrillers, and obviously still based on the comic books, but I really wish that we would have got to see more Ben Affleck Batman. Because for one, I thought that costume that he had was sick, and I would have loved to see more of it. And but I am still looking forward to see how Robert Pattinson does in the upcoming Batman films. So let's go ahead and get here into more of the live chats. Aggressively Relaxing says, Magic looked awesome in the trailer. Yeah. I was gonna say that the trailer altogether, it actually looks pretty good. Very interesting, and after X-Men, or I'm sorry, after Dark Phoenix, it kind of makes me wonder, like, with what Fox was doing with these films, like, whew, is this movie going to be any good? I think it's possible that we could still get a good movie out of it, because it did certainly look interesting, and I think I do kind of like that horror aspect that they took about it, because I mean, you got to think, like, if you were a teenager, a kid, and you started to get these powers and things like that, especially some of the powers that these characters have, it would be kind of horrific, just going through that journey as you get into your powers and things like that. So Magic definitely did look awesome. Definitely some cool things going to be happening in this movie, and I can't wait to see it. Like I said, I think I've seen pretty much every single comic book movie in theaters ever since I was a kid. I went to see most of these movies, with the exception of very few of them. I didn't see the most recent Fantastic Four movie. I also didn't see the most recent Hellboy movie. And I want to say there was one other one that I didn't see in theaters as well. And actually, I even own most of them too. just because I'm a nerd and I might want to rewatch them, and who knows? Plus, I'm into my physical media. But let's see. Captain Pennsylvania says seems to be the strong link. Her magic is what I'm waiting to see. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, there was definitely some cool things going on in this trailer. Although sometimes at some points I kind of felt like did they try to go that push that horror angle just a little too much, a little too dark. I don't know. For me, trailers are interesting because sometimes I feel like trailers really get me into a movie, and then I see some trailers where it really kind of turns me off. This one it kind of hit a good middle ground of all of it. Definitely. Captain Pennsylvania says, "I'm surprised they released it." Yeah, yeah. Me too. I mean, it's something that they probably could have put directly, maybe on their streaming service or maybe direct to DVD, and they still could have made quite a bit of money doing that. But honestly, it's best, even with all the any of the audience confusion, it is best to put this into theaters so they can try to recuperate some of those expenses that they put out in production and making this movie. And man, it's been a long time coming. Kermit the Log, thank you so much for being here. It says 1917 looks good. Yeah, 1917 does, and I really do like a lot of these war dramas that end up coming out. As long as they're done in the right way, and as a matter of fact, I only got I never watched Dunkirk, but I have heard from so many people how great that movie is, and of course, it is done by the great Christopher Nolan. He is a phenomenal filmmaker as well. So that's one I've definitely got to pull and watch. I've got to check that one out. And feel free to beat me up in the comments below for me not seeing Dunkirk yet, because I've literally heard from everybody how great of a movie. My mother has seen that movie, and even she was talking about how great it was. That's pretty bad when my mom has seen a movie and I haven't seen it yet, because I'm normally the one that takes her to the theater to see films when she's here in town, or even when she comes to visit. If they're not at the theater and I own them on DVD, I'm usually the one to show her movies, and she's the one here schooling me. That's how far behind I am on Dunkirk. And yeah, I know it's terrible. It's terrible. I know I should have seen that. Captain Pennsylvania says Keaton is my Batman. Yeah, definitely. I love Michael Keaton as Batman. I really did like it, especially when it came back out in 1989. I remember I went to see that at the theater while we were on vacation with my parents, and I had this really cool Batman wallet. I remember I had $50 with me when I was a kid. We went to the movie theater and seen it, and I lost my wallet and my money at the theater that same day. It's terrible. I remember that. Captain Pennsylvania says, Dark Knight actually sucked to me. Ledger was the only good thing I wanted to see. Yeah, and there's something I've talked a lot about when it comes to the Dark Knight and Heath Ledger's portrayal. He did a really great job as Joker. He was really good. Definitely one of a great portrayal on screen. But me, I've largely always argued that my favorite Joker is still Jack Nicholson as Joker. But also, and I also say that too because I think Jack Nicholson, given any span of time, could have came in and nailed any of these roles. Just Heath Ledger benefited from the better movie and the better written character. Because I still argue that I think even today, Jack Nicholson, in his age and everything, could have went and made that a better performance. Just because he's Jack Nicholson, and not to disparage Heath Ledger in his portrayal, because he did a very good job in that movie. Maverick Pilgrim, thank you so much for being here. Another one of our great Patreon supporters. And oh, you know what? That reminds me. This is something else I need to do right here. Is bam. There you go. Captain Pennsylvania is now one of our moderators because he is one of our awesome Patreon supporters here on the channel. Biden Touch, thank you so much for being here. Maverick Pilgrim says, I was just watching Trinity on the Den of Nerds live stream replay. Switched over here once I got the notification. Yeah, and that's kind of where I ended up making the push over 1,000 last night. As Josh from the Den of Nerds, they did start. They changed the Den of Nerds gaming channel into the Den of Nerds live stream channel. And we were over there yesterday talking about like Star Wars and basically the state of fandom and things like that, and how do we move forward. Had a whole bunch of different people on there. I had Darth Lunga from the Great Council. You can go check out his channel here on YouTube. He's a newer channel, but he's actually growing pretty fast. Got a lot of backup from Josh and the Den of Nerds and the Gray Order. Another fan movement that Josh over at the Den of Nerds decided to start up, and I'm part of the Gray Order as well. So definitely go check out him, and Mad Max the Mandalorian was on there. He's another one of my favorite content creators here on YouTube. Just definitely a guy who likes to have open conversations with people about fandom. And he's got some of these great masks that he wears too. I mean, he's got a Mandalorian one, he's got a Darth Vader one, but my favorite one that he has is this Ghost Rider one that he has that somehow I'm gonna get him to send me that thing somehow. I don't know if I gotta send him some money or what I gotta do, but if you're watching this video, Mad Max, I want that mask, dude. That thing is legit. And yeah, and then he also had this other guy on there, Papa Don, from another newer channel here called the New Force Order here on YouTube as well. And this guy came on. He was basically the final match. He was the headliner of the show, and he came on and he spoke really well. And I got to tell you, man, I like that dude, Papa Don, how he came out and just how he was talking and the way he presents himself. Very very great discussion. If you guys didn't check that out, you should definitely make sure you go check out the Den of Nerds live here on YouTube and watch that video that they just did, because it was really good, and yeah, and even me and Black Angus Reviews ended up being on there as well. He just and that's something that they're kind of aiming that content towards more, is doing a lot more of those live streams with the different content creators and things like that. And a huge thank you to Josh and the Den of Nerds as well for helping me push on past that 1,000 subscribers, or that 1,000 subscribers, which there's a lot of people that I have to thank for that. Most of all, my Patreon supporters, and then also people like Young Ripper 59, definitely definitely the Dark Council, which includes people like Drunk 3PO, Lord Callus, Damajanai, Fatal J, the President, Abu Nas, and man, I feel like I'm forgetting another one. Another one. There's 6 of us, but it's always a good time to get together with them. We do a live stream on Drunk 3PO's channel. Typically, it's on Drunk 3PO's channel called the Dark Council, where we get together and just kind of talk about just different things going on in the news and movies and things like that. So it's always a good time to get together with those guys. Very honored to be part of that panel. And also other people, like I said, out there who have really been great help in promoting me out there. For one I failed to mention enough is the Fandom Collective. They're just kind of a group. They do have a channel here on YouTube as well, but they are very active on Twitter and promoting a lot of channels out there that we all kind of align with. Just different content creators are very helpful in that. And also a big thanks to my friend Ryan over at Nerdy Blurb TV. You can find his link down in the description here on this video and pretty much all of my videos, because he's a great collaborator. That's kind of where I got this shirt right here, the Fandom Initiative. It's something that he's been doing where he gets a lot of different content creators together to kind of build hype for movies that are getting ready to come out. And the last one we did for the Fandom Initiative Part 3 was actually our Skywalker journey, which is kind of building hype, getting ready to go into Rise of Skywalker. Always a great time to get together with him. And like I said, there's so many other people that I have to thank. I probably can't even remember them all. That's why it's sometimes hard to kind of put all their names out there. A person like me, I feel bad, not because I know I'll forget somebody. I know for sure that I will definitely forget people, and I hate that. I hate having to forget people like that. But yeah, it was a good stream last night over there on live. Comics Expertise says, "What's up? How are you doing?" And speaking of comics, don't forget, guys, every Wednesday is New Comic Book Wednesday at your local comic book shop. You should definitely get out and support them. I've got some reviews that had just dropped here over the past couple of days on some of the comic books, and I am doing a giveaway on some of those. And to get entered into those, you should make sure that you go back and watch those videos to learn how to get entered into those. I got one dropping later today, and there should probably be one probably even tomorrow morning that will be that will be coming up to get entered into those, and I will be doing those giveaways this Wednesday during my comic book pull list, which will be premiering over on Facebook, because that's where I'm going to start premiering all of my comic book pull lists, and they will end up being here on YouTube. I won't premiere the video here until, it'll probably drop on maybe Friday, because I want to do a lot more cross-platform stuff to get people following me over on Facebook, Instagram, and even Twitter as well. And you can always find me at Second Street Marvel. And so yeah, it'll be premiering over there, and that's where it'll be. But it will be here on the channel on Wednesday as well. But it's going to be on my comic book pull list playlist. It's just going to be unlisted, but it is a public playlist, so you'll be able to find it there. Let's see. Aggressively Relaxing says, new Hellboy was so gory. Yeah, and I'm still interested in seeing it, even as bad reviews and everything it got. I'm still interested in seeing that movie. Because for one, I mean, I go out and pretty much watch all of these movies, and I actually meant to go out and see that at the movie theater as well. I mean, it looked interesting, but for me, even the trailers seemed a little bit over the top with things. But I don't know. I guess we'll get out and see how that is. Margaret Pilgrim says, didn't see the new Hellboy either. Captain Pennsylvania says, Dunkirk was good, but it has some boring stretches. It's a Christopher Nolan movie, so I definitely understand that there's going to be some points in there where it may get a little heavy with some of that stuff, and may feel like it's kind of drug out a little bit. And I think that's one of the things with even the Batman films that he did, is there's points in there like that where it kind of feels like, okay, it's going on a little bit long here, like it's a little long in the tooth, some of this stuff could be cut out, which is something I've talked about, like Steven Spielberg films as well. Go show me a Steven Spielberg film that probably couldn't have 10 minutes cut out of it, hit the floor, and you not miss it. I can guarantee you almost every single Steven Spielberg film has 10 minutes in it that could be cut out, and you wouldn't miss anything in the movie. I just noticed that with a lot of his movies. I can't remember which the last one was I was watching. It may have been when I was rewatching AI not too long ago, and I was sitting there like, man, you know what? This one has a good 20 minutes that could probably be cut out, and you'd never miss it. But again, Steven Spielberg is a great filmmaker. I grew up watching his movies. A lot of his movies, definitely. Margaret Pilgrim says, I like Dunkirk a lot. The format of the movie, the editing was all amazing. Yeah, and that's really with any Christopher Nolan movie. Cinematics, the drama, just the build-up, just everything. Like, you ever see, wasn't it Interstellar? Man, that movie, again, another heavy movie, but really good one. I think one of my favorite ones, that was the Nolans that did that as well. You don't really hear much about his brother anymore. It used to be always the Nolans, and now it's mostly Christopher Nolan. But Memento was a great one, as well as Insomnia. Insomnia was a very, very good movie as well. Maverick Pilgrim says, I think you need some boring in a war movie because the action is so intense. Definitely agree with that 100%. Captain Pennsylvania says, I don't disagree. I was on an action spree as well when I watched it. Oh yeah, certainly. Maverick Pilgrim says, Cap got his wrench, right? Yes, he did. Sith Lord, thank you so much for being here. Hope you're having a good day. Captain Pennsylvania says, Second Street, assemble. Captain Pennsylvania says that mask is crazy. Oh yeah, of Mad Max. Yeah, I love that Ghost Rider mask he has. It's great. I love seeing it. I don't like every time I see one of his videos where he's wearing that, I'm like, I've got to watch this one just because I've got to see that mask because it's so great. I'm telling you, Max, if you watch this video, bro, you got to send me that mask. I want that mask. Name your price, dude. Name your price. Name it. Maverick Pilgrim says, I think I've somehow only seen the Flaming Skull mask. Yeah, and it's a great one. That's really that's the only one he should wear. Although that Mandalorian one he's got is pretty legit too. J528 says, congrats on 1K. Can't stay long in class. All right, well, yeah. Thanks for being here, J528. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for being here and watching my videos. Like I said, did recently hit 1,000 subscribers, and I gotta say, Some of that was, some of that was due to my good friend LB over at the Lonely Banter as well. He sent me this news article last week while I was on vacation, and this day and age, there's really no excuse for us not to make content, no matter where we're at, really. And it's something I don't normally do. I don't normally like to read articles to people and stuff like that on my channel, but this particular article I thought was interesting because it's something, it's somewhat in the space that I'm in and talking about movies and entertainment and things like that. And that was the story about Collider and how they canceled quite a bit. They canceled quite a bit of their shows, like shows on their channel, and like these are big shows. These are big shows that they came out like that garnered them a lot of views and things like that. And they went and Mark Farrell, thank you so much for subscribing. They went and canceled a lot of these big shows, and it's like, whew, man. And then days after that, one of these guys that's supposedly like the second guy in charge there on the totem pole over there at Collider ended up making some really, really off the wall remarks about a lot of the people that had just lost their jobs. And what's kind of funny about that is I noticed this guy Jack Hind. He actually went on his Twitter. He obviously could dish out the criticism, but couldn't take it. Because recently I noticed that he actually went out there and locked his account to where you have to be an approved follower to be able to check out his tweets and things like that. And that's something, guys, like we're in the new millennium. This is social media. This is kind of the age of the internet and things like that. If you're online, you're subject to criticism. You are literally subjecting yourself to criticism. If you're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, here on YouTube, you're a content creator, you are putting yourself out there, being subject to criticism. And you know what? Like, if you can't take the criticism, the internet might not be for you. Okay, certainly there are a whole lot of people who are very harsh on the internet. Something about being behind a keyboard makes people react differently than they normally would in real life if you were speaking face to face to somebody. And this guy Jack Hind is no different, and he went out there and made some very off the wall remarks about his people that had worked for him, I guess worked under him or with him. And it's just messed up, and I did a video about that was very big. And I'm telling you, I feel strongly about that, especially because this guy is in somewhat of a leadership role, and you don't go out there and treat people like that that had worked for you and had just lost their jobs. And not only that, you got to think of all the people that work underneath you as a leader in any organization. When they see things like that and they see these things, you're supposed to be setting an example for people, and then you go out and talk like this about people's hard work. Nobody wants to work with a person like that, especially a manager, let alone a leader in an organization. It's just not a good look for you, let alone the organization that you're representing. And this guy went out there and he made some very critical remarks about these shows and these people online on Twitter. And it seems like he has a pretty big presence out there. And he can dish out that criticism, but he can't take it back. He can't take it back. And it's just wrong. You know what? He shouldn't have done it. And I guess we could see he's one of these people out there that wants to dish all the criticism in the world out there, but can't take any of it. I myself, I am. I guess you could say I'm a YouTube personality. I've got a channel and everything, and I put myself out there for those kinds of things, and I know I'm subject to criticism too. Someday somebody's gonna have something to say about me. Somebody's maybe gonna make a video talking about what I said or what I did, or get on Twitter and talk about me or something like that, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I don't take people's people's assessments of me harshly, even if they're being harsh. Hey man, people are entitled to their opinions. I may not like it, I may not want to hear it, but I'm certainly open to that criticism because I'm a content creator. I am I guess building an audience and building a following. So hey, I get it. I get it. And I know I may not agree with everybody or like everything that everybody has to say about me, but you know what? That's largely been my life. I've dealt with that my whole life. So, and obviously, I'm in my 40s now, so it's something I've kind of grown up with. We didn't grow up in this age where people were so reactionary and just acted nasty and everything online. But you know what? I grew up in a world where sticks and stones didn't break my bones and words would never, or sticks and stones would break my bones, but words would never hurt me. And I think that's something that a lot of people seem to forget nowadays, as it seems like the littlest bit of criticism, a lot of people just can't take it. Especially you, Jack Hind. You shouldn't make bad remarks about people like that if you're not willing to take some of that criticism yourself. And it's obvious that you can't take it. Aggressively relaxing says, holy shit, my cacao flowers just bloomed. Ooh, opening up that gateway. Yeah, guys, aggressively relaxing is one of my favorite content creators here on YouTube as well. He does these really great FM parody videos on comic books coming out in the Marvel Universe. Really great stuff. You guys have to go check out his channel. And aggressively, if you're here, feel more than free to drop your channel link down in the chats here, because I love the work you do, man. Really good stuff. Captain Pennsylvania says, just got my Den of Nerds coffee mug. Awesome, man. That's awesome. I've been wanting to get one of those, but more than I want to get one of the I want to get one of the shirts they got there. Captain Pennsylvania says, gotta get me some Krakoan flowers. Yeah, go and check out Aggressively Relaxing's Krakoan flowers that he blooms on YouTube every week, man. Just great stuff. Pages Films and Plastics says, hello to everyone, Happy New Year. Thank you for being here, Pages Films and Plastics. I don't think I've seen you here before, but I do greatly appreciate you being here, and I hope you're having a good new year as well. Captain Pennsylvania says, had to switch shops 3 weeks ago. Fell into some gold. Conan everywhere, and I got a subscription though. Nice. I haven't really read a whole lot of Conan. I had some when I was growing up, but something I definitely need to get into, just to check some out. And I see they're getting ready to come out with a new series here very soon. They're getting ready to come out with a new series, and gosh, I want to say, is this it? Yeah, right here. Conan Serpent War. Check that poster right there. Got some Moon Knight on there. And yeah, man. I don't know. Like I said, I've never really read a lot of it, so maybe I'll go out there and check that out. Sith Lord says Hellboy was okay, but you can tell it was hacked up and slapped together. Yeah, I heard there was just like a lot of bad things about that movie. Maverick Pilgrim says Goonies is a perfect movie. Fight me. Oh no, it is. It is. And that's and then that, like, Goonies is my childhood. Yeah, and you know what? I have to I haven't watched that in a while. I need to get that one so I can watch it with my kids. But yeah, you know what? I need to watch that one. There might be 10 minutes in there that can't be cut. No, I'm willing to give you that one. Because that is certainly one of his greatest movies. And, oh, you know what? And let's not forget. Oh man, I was about to say Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, but you know what I'm talking about. Oh man, the first movie with Harrison Ford, man, American Graffiti. That's another good one. Zulu Entertainment, thank you so much for being here. Lonely Banter says, I am here at Rise of Resistance at Hollywood Studios. Nice. Yeah, I hope you're going to blog that or vlog that. That'd be pretty cool to see. I want to check that out, LB. Cool stuff. Captain Pennsylvania says, Goonies, watched it last week. Nice. Darth Longa is here. The Grey Council says, shout out to my man, 2nd Street Marvel. Congrats on 1K. And hit that like and sub button. Yeah, definitely, guys. Like you said, if you are here, please make sure that you hit the like button. It does, it sounds ridiculous, and sometimes we have to be told because sometimes I forget in videos. Please do hit that like button. It does help the channel grow and helps it push it in the YouTube algorithm and things like that. Let's see, and thank you, Zulu. Thank you, Zulu Entertainment. He says, congrats on 1K. Captain Pennsylvania says, I would trade good comics for that mask. Yes, I might be willing to give up my beat up copy of Incredible Hulk 181 for that mask. I might be. Sith Lord says, congrats, thank you so much. Sith Lord says, are you going to do a review on Rise of Resistance, LB? And that's a good question. Are you going to? Lonely Banter says, I'll talk about it on my stream. Too many videos out about it now. It's been out like a month. Oh, okay. Well, you should still do it. LB. It's not all about clicks and views. All right, maybe it is. I don't know. Let's see. Aggressively relaxing says, "This is disappointing. I always look to Collider for integrity." You know what? And that's you're absolutely right. And just seeing it makes me wonder. Will Collider, will they do anything about this? Like, I'm not one of these people who thinks that people need to be fired and lose their jobs. But when you're a guy in that kind of position and you go out and make those kind of remarks about, I mean, you're not even only making disparaging remarks towards people who just lost their job that used to work with you, that got fired. You're representing that company, and when you go out there and make them look bad, I mean, a lot of companies will look at that, and this guy could lose his job. I mean, he could, but should he? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Jack Hines should be fired from his job for making these remarks about people, or do you think issuing an apology is enough? Or do you and also another question I have is, do you think that Collider should actually go out there and give the people that used to work for them an apology for the comments that this guy made on Twitter? Because like I said, I did the video talking about this, and John Campea went on this epic rant about it. But that's just wrong of him to do. I used to work in retail. I used to work at Walmart, and I was in a leadership position. And that's one thing I would absolutely never do, is tear down somebody else's work. Because for one, a lot of people work hard, and even if their work isn't up to standards, that's absolutely no reason to go out and make the kind of remarks that this guy made over on Twitter. You just don't do that. Not only one, because I mean it brings down their morality, but everyone around you, theirs is hurt too by that too. You know what I mean? That it really it really affects a lot of people around you when you say and do these kinds of things, especially when you're in that leadership position. You always, I mean, yeah, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. But I mean, I don't know. I myself, I think Collider does need to address this situation. Like I said, I'm not saying the guy has to be fired, but they definitely need to make sure. If you ask me, they need to make sure that they put out a public statement about this guy, about what this guy had said, and apologize to not only the people who had lost their jobs, the people that helped make them who they are, but also to their fans. Because you can go on Twitter and sees a lot of the reactions and the outcry from people about the remarks that this guy had made. This doesn't just affect Jack Hind and the people that had lost their jobs. This affects their fan base, and we can see just watching that Twitter feed. There was a lot of people who were just outright saying, "Hey, I unsubscribed. I'm not watching that anymore," because people don't want to be associated with that kind of behavior. That's just wrong. It's just wrong, and that's how I feel about it. Um, Sith Lord says, "Oh boy, deserved the roast he got," and Ricky's monologue was fire too. Yeah, I heard about Ricky Gervais's monologue on during that award show last night. I don't really watch award shows or anything, but from what I heard, Ricky Gervais really came out there. Really came out there and knocked some stuff out of the park. Ricky Gervais is one of those guys. He don't give an F, man. He does not give an F about saying things like that. And it kind of makes me wonder, like, is he going to be invited to to do an award show again? And he's not. It's not like he's unknown for doing that kind of stuff, because he's certainly done these kinds of things out there before. And plus, he's a comedian, so does that give him a little more leeway? I don't know. Maybe just a little bit. It does. Let's see. Captain Pennsylvania says, "That's it. Everybody needs to read some Conan." Yes. Sith Lord says, "What is best in life?" What is best in life? Comics? Captain Pennsylvania says, "Uncanny X-Men for me." And I'll say, what's best in life is getting to meet great people, which I've been very fortunate to come across a lot of you people here on YouTube that have been really great and very supportive. And last week when I made those videos like about Collider, and a lot of people were being very interactive with those videos. There was I got a lot of kind remarks in some of those videos. Like I'm like, man, like like it gained me some new subscribers, but like it also made me, also kind of humbling too that people actually come here and watch me flap my gums just about a lot of the things that I love, and just a lot of the people's kind words really hit me. It really feels good when people have nice things to say. And one of these days I am going to be subject to that criticism. People are going to have not so nice things to say, and you know what? I appreciate even those people who have mean things to say, because you know what, I'm certainly open to hearing some of those kinds of things, because I don't always look into it as troll jobs either. People so much, anytime somebody says something that they don't agree with, or something where somebody's being an a-hole, everyone's like, oh, they're just a troll. I don't always feel that way. I feel that sometimes, even though you can still learn a lot from a troll. So I'll certainly look at those kinds of things in a certain manner as well. But I don't take things like that to heart. What I take to heart is the people who have nice things to say, who have kind words, and make me feel better than I probably should be. And it's not like they give me a big head, because I myself, I don't have a big, huge ego out there where I've got to go out there and play things up or anything like that. It's just not who I am, and it's not who I've ever been, and well, at this point in my life, will probably never be. Black Hat Cinephile, thank you so much for being here. Hope you're doing well today. Immortal Biggie Shaq, my brother, how are you doing? He says, I gave up on New Mutants a while ago. I still have some Demon Bear stuff and a First Magic. Nice. Yeah, the New Mutants thing is kind of, I don't know. I mean, I'm still going to go see it. I'm going to go see it for sure. Captain Pennsylvania says, the trailer got me excited about it for the first time. Yes, definitely. Immortal Biggie Shaq, Captain Pennsylvania says, fire his ass. Yeah, and I mean, very well, Collider. That might be Collider's apology to all their subscribers. Is they might fire him. I mean, they could, because I mean, imagine, somebody else in another company going out and making remarks like this. We've certainly seen it happen out there. Of course, we've seen other people out there in other organizations make comments worse than this, that haven't been met with a whole lot of repercussion either. But like I said, I'm not into like the whole cancel culture thing, go and get this person fired. But sometimes we do things to ourselves, and sometimes losing a job is something that is necessary. And I've been fired from a job before, and those couple of times I didn't feel bad about it, but it did kind of make me think like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I did deserve it. And they can be very humbling experiences, and this guy obviously needs to be humbled. And I went out and did a little bit of research here on YouTube and found that he's actually been doing some commentary and been on shows and things like that in the past, and had kind of built an audience for himself, and that's probably how he got where he is. But just because you've went out and built an audience for yourself and you've been successful to some degree, does not give you the right to go out there and just criticize other people's work in the fashion that he did it in, for the people that used to work with him on a platform that he still works for. That still doesn't give him the right to do that. To be critical, sure, but that doesn't mean you have to be an asshole about it. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. Sith Lord says, wrong cap to crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of their women. Chaos and Comics says, who cares about Jack Hind? He's just going to get laid off too. Chances are he probably will. Because I'm sure that Mark Fernandez, he's probably catching a lot of heat for that, especially considering we still haven't heard anything about from him or Collider, as far as I know. Haven't heard anything about it. But again, I'm not just into saying that people need to be fired and getting people fired, but I think the axe is probably coming down for this guy, and I could be wrong. Sith Lord says, fired, no apology from him would carry any weight. I kind of feel the same way. Because he went out and said those things, and that's how he feels. He really did feel that way. It's not like oh, I'm sorry, lapse in judgment or anything like that. Like, no, you're trying to be a snarky asshole, and you're going to reap the repercussions of it, probably one way or another. Young Ripper59 says, all right, I'm back. There had better not be any monetization going on here. I don't think there has been. I haven't got any direct donations or anything yet. But dang it, I do have some Patreon supporters, and I know I shouldn't be making money for any of the hard work that I put into my channel. Chaos and Comics says, Gervais is great. Yeah, Ricky Gervais, he is good. You know what? And I've watched some of the original Office series, the UK version, and you know, British humor, or would that be British humor, isn't necessarily for everybody. But I really thought that series was pretty funny as well. I think I probably watched, I don't know, a good 10 episodes or so of those, and it was pretty funny. And I noticed how there were some of those episodes that were pretty much remade when they did the American version of The Office. Very funny stuff. Captain Pennsylvania says any all type of monetization over here. Black Cat Cinephile says dill pickles. um, Gervais was on fire, says Sith Lord. Yeah, I didn't watch it. I need to go back and watch some of those clips because I did see that whatever station is that it was ran on put clips here onto YouTube. I'll probably go and check those out because I don't really watch the I don't watch the award shows. Sir Nerdalot says Ricky was hilarious as always. Wes Moody, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a good day. Yeah, 59 says, oh no, yeah, I got Patreon supporters, man. I'm making money, and that's a bad thing. That evil money, you know what I mean? Besides, the government's gonna take all of it anyway, you know what I mean? Dill's comic book rants. What's up, my brother? I hope you're doing well today. Dylan, did you get some sleep last night, man? I swear this dude never sleeps. Dylan Comic Book Rants is another one of my great supporters here on the channel, man. This young man has went out there. He's got a small channel. You guys should go check him out. He talks a lot about comic books. But this young man has, he started coming into my chats. I started noticing him, and at some point, I forgot to subscribe to him for a while. But I finally went and subscribed to him and started checking out his videos. And you can see just in this short amount of time, he's really changed and really doing a good job growing his channel. Matter of fact, he's very very much proof that all you got to do as a content creator is be yourself and just do your best to put out great content, and people will come. Because the other day, just recently, he's been doing some live streams, and man, the other day, I think it was on New Year's Eve, had an all-star panel on there. He had Professor Bill from Comic Book University on there. He got Comics with Bueller on there, a big channel. He had Rob Wurst on there. I'm telling you, he had a lot of these comic book content creators on there. I'm like, dude, this guy's got a small channel, and look at the following he has. He had probably 30 plus people on that live stream New Year's Eve for like 4 hours plus. For 4 hours plus, and I think he's got maybe barely over 200 subscribers, maybe approaching 300 now. Like, guys, this guy, Dylan's Comic Book Rants, knows what he's doing. He's growing an audience. I think you guys should make sure you definitely go and check out his stuff. Downright Records Arcade, thank you so much for being here. Says Ricky Gervais does that every year. Yeah, goes out there and just slays. He definitely does. Wes Moody podcast says the part about Judi Dench licking her pussy was funny. Oh man, I must have missed that. I need to go see it now. Dylan's Comic Book Rant says, no sleep at all, bro. Thanks for asking. Had to be up for Wi-Fi guy to finally to fix my shit. Hopefully this next time they actually fixed it. Yeah, man, that can be rough. I know I was having some problems there for a while as well, and had to call out Spectrum, and they had to come out and check the wires, ran new wires and everything. It was a whole mess, but now it's finally getting on. It's finally on track, and it's been working good. Maverick Pilgrim says, now that you got 1K, I half expect you to show up with a suit and tie today. Monetization potentially changes people, right? I guess I should. I need to stop cursing. I need to step up my production value and things like that. Yeah, man. Dylan's Comic Book Rant says I'm 31 subs away from 300. 300, one sub away from 270, but who's counting? Right? Yeah, Dylan is good peeps. Very, very good guy. But guys, it's already been an hour here. Thank you all so much for being here, watching me flap my gums here on the morning movie chat. Like I said, I just recently dropped some comic book reviews. One's going to be dropping again here later today. I'll have another one that will be scheduled to probably drop, if not later tonight, possibly tomorrow morning. Make sure you go and watch those comic book reviews, because I did announce some giveaways that I'm going to be doing this Wednesday during my comic book pull list that will be premiering on Facebook. If you don't follow me over there, you should go find me on Facebook at 2nd Street Marvel. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter at the 2nd Street Marvel as well. And And make sure you go do that, because that's where I'll be announcing the giveaways. Now, like I said, the video will be here, probably not drop actually here on the channel, be public until Friday, but it will be here on my comic book pull list playlist that you can find here. It is a public playlist, but it will be there unlisted where you can still see it. But that's all I have for this video today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the morning movie chat. You all have a very good day. Have a great rest of your week, and make sure you let me know down in the comments below. Are you going to go see any of these movies that are getting ready to come out this weekend? And what is your interest level in New Mutants? You all have a very good day, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.